Hello everyone and welcome to another Red Gaming Tech gaming news video. Today I have some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 news slash update, as Treyarch have released giant updates for the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions of the game. Now these two updates for obviously the two different versions are pretty much identical and introduce feature improvements, balance gameplay elements, and address both multiplayer and zombies issues. And I'm going to hit the Xbox 360 title updates first, with feature improvements being party members will now appear on the minimap as purple when colorblind assist is turned on. Added hint text tooltips for map voter buttons, and a rather giant list of multiplayer issues is next. Resolved a known issue with stats resets caused by a failed save process, indicated by receiving a persistent rank data has been corrupted error message. Fix an issue where players could lose functionality and have a blurry screen after viewing a gamer card during the round-ending kill cam at the end of the first round of a round-based game. Addressed an exploit where players could gain XP privately without matchmaking. Addressed an issue where the player's EMP grenade blast would cancel out the effects of an enemy's EMP, which is a rather interesting one to say the least. Players will no longer fly into the air when knife lunging other players on certain types of inclines. Addressed multiple exploits where players could clip into and shoot from within certain areas on downhill. Fixed an issue with the Skulls camo challenge for the RPG, unlocking by using other weapons in conjunction with the RPG. Addressed an issue with taking control of an AGR while next to a friendly player, causing loss of functionality for firing rockets. That's a really odd one to say the least. Resolved an issue where spectating would default to a third person even though it had been disabled if the player was previously spectating in third person. Resolved an issue with dog spawns in the slums. Fixed an issue joining split screen bot games in progress when the host had altered party privacy settings. Addressed an issue where players could not link their Twitch account in the multiplayer party lobby options menu. Fixed an issue where the player may not die by the train running over them in Express. Players in a split screen game can no longer access the MP pause menu during the round ending kill cam, the final kill cam, or after the game has ended. Addressed an issue where the split screen pause menu where the game mode below the map was being cut off. The system link / LAN party server list now sorts the available games by host name. Players can no longer set their clan tag in non-public match lobbies if they haven't reached the unlock level for the clan tag feature. Addressed an issue with the Expert Challenge calling card was not appearing for the Peacekeeper in the combat record after completing all the Peacekeeper challenges. Players with level 1 profiles will now see their XP bonus in the after action report after a league play match. Resolved an issue where the damage feedback sound was not occurring for the combat axe or cluster bomb from the Hellstorm missile. Addressed an issue where the UAV score streak was not being called in for multi-team hardcore matches. Addressed an issue where the minimap for tablet score streaks would not appear on the tablet under certain round transition conditions. Resolved an issue with care packages bouncing unusually high. I actually kind of want to see that one, that sounds rather amusing. Fixed an issue where players could not accept invites from the Xbox 360 dashboard. Addressed an issue where players with the riot shield could survive dog attacks while prone with the riot shield on their back. Rapidly pressing the swap weapons button, no longer inverts the player model's left hand with the M8A1 equipped. Resolved an issue with the lobby score for the winner of a gun game match didn't match the ending score of the match. Addressed an issue during rewind in theatre mode where the waves in Hydro were jittering while the flood is occurring. Fixed an issue in downhill with the light effects on the gondolas not appearing after host migration or rounds change. Players can no longer get out the map in downhill by going prone and getting run over by the gondola in the station. Dead bodies no longer float if the player dives to prone into a gondola just before getting hit by it. Players can now earn the Thief challenge if they use Black Hat to steal an enemy care package. Resolved an issue where the equipment statistics for the smoke grenade were not accurately reflecting in the combat record with what was achieved in-game. Fixed an issue in Mirage where players could fall outside the map by diving to prone through a section of the door on the southeast side of the map. Addressed an issue where players could get on top of a tent in Grind. Fixed an issue in Grind where the player could see outside of the map. And finally, address exploits where the Dragonfire could get under the map in Mirage and Hydro. Still quite a lot of fixes to go, guys, so stick with me here. Gameplay balancing, only a couple of fixes on this one. They reduced the red flash damage indicator when using the toughness perk, and they reduced guardian damage in hardcore mode. Now next up is an absolutely massive list of zombie issues that have been addressed in this rather large patch. Address an issue where the players could not access the in-game store. Address a long black screen issue while players watch the intro zombies movie when loading System Link/LAN party games. Players will no longer be seen clipping into the concrete when sliding from the green to orange building in theatre mode on Die Rise. Fixed an issue in Zombies Theatre mode where the Who's Who swirly vision can be seen for players who are not in the mode when switching from players who are. Address an issue for split screen users on Turn Diner in Theatre mode where the eye glow was missing from the zombies when viewed in third person and jumping to start. Disappearing fog addressed in Theatre mode when flying through the laboratory in transit. Fix a spawn issue for players in Die Rise that spawn on top of the escape pod after a host migration in a 2+ player game. Players will no longer be given momentary control of a character before being put into spectator mode when hot joining a custom game on Nuketown. Address an issue where players had in-game functionality during the loading countdown timer on transit if a host migration occurred within the first 5 seconds of the game. Player names will now appear above players when in spectate mode upon hot joining a custom grief game mode. Fix an issue where zombies were not spawning in after a host migration in a bus depot station standard match. Address the issue where Siliquifier would create too many slippery spots. Address an issue in turn where zombie vision would disappear after host migrations occurred. Addressed an issue where player's controller would vibrate for a long duration after the player hot joined a game of Transit. Resolved several instances in Die Rise where players could jump above barricades and avoid zombie attacks. Resolved several instances in that same map where players could hide in objects in the world and avoid zombie attacks. Address several locations where players could survive a landing in unplayable space. Fix an issue in Die Rise where zombies could not pass to players depending on trample steam positioning. Fix an issue where users could not play the game in offline mode. Players will now hear announcer dialogue in the turned game mode. Address an issue where players are able to start a game of turn with only one player. Resolve several instances where players could avoid zombie attacks by hiding in objects around transit. Address an issue with taking screenshots in theatre mode. Addressed issues with the buildable system. Addressed issues where players would say the wrong dialogue. Addressed issues in Die Rise where zombies had trouble pathing to players. Addressed an issue where players could jump out of the playable space in Die Rise. So that is pretty much it for the Xbox 360 fixes. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So pretty much all of those fixes apply to both systems. It seems like the game had a ton of problems in multiplayer and zombies mode, so I'm sure fans of those modes will be glad to see those issues being sorted out so they don't have to worry about weird clipping issues or what have you. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video or at least found it helpful. Please do check out our channel for more gaming goodness, and I'll see you again next time.